Sir had clearly mentioned about the radiographic appearance, and he's been mentioning very clear that this tumor is a lytic lesion. The classic appearance is it will be close to the growth plate. It abuts the articular surface. In 99% cases, it will be within 1 centimeter of the articular surface. It will be non-sclerotic. Sclerosis is extremely rare. It is eccentric, usually towards one side. Well defined, the margins are there, but over time you will have the extent going out and you will have appearance of the soap bubble coming up. Finally, it will be a hollow bone with a very thin shell. Narrow zone of transition sometimes can be there with a tumor and a normal bone, and overlying cortex is thinned, expanded or deficient, and the deficiencies can be further increased if there is any manipulations.
I think that's right. Even if there is a erosion, let's say cortex has undergone erosion, is eroding of the cortex at some places, the tumor is still contained within the periosteal tube. And that is the information which should help us in both ways. Number one, when we do an en bloc resection, we have to be extra periosteal. For an en bloc resection to be successful, we have to be extra periosteal. And even when you are doing an intralesional surgery, again, don't go out of the periosteum. Stay within the periosteal tube at the places where there is no cortex, but still the periosteum is there. Periosteum will be there for a very long time unless the tumor has undergone path fracture, fungation, local irritants have been used. That's a different situation.
This is known to show a periosteal reaction in only 10 to 30% of cases. Not very common to have a periosteal reaction in a GCT. Soft tissue mass can be there, pathological fractures can be there, and this tumor does not calcify.
As a rule, it doesn't calcify or doesn't go under any mineralization. I think we must emphasize again and again, this tumor does stay contained within the periosteal coverage for a very long time. After all, this tumor it's contained within the bone for a very long time. If a patient comes to you where the cortex is missing and a pathological fracture has occurred, it means the tumor has had a long stay of duration in which it is permitted to grow or probably even manhandled. Somebody is applying a local massage, somebody is manipulating it, probably all these things contribute to breaking of the periosteal tube or fungation of the tumor. That's it.
In the world of advanced imaging technologies, MRI goes hand in glove in the life of an orthopedic surgeon. We have a T1 image which will show you the solid component, as sir has explained, low signal at the periphery. The solid component enhance, helping distinguish GCT with an ABC from a pure ABC, because ABC will have blood or blood clots, and some enhancement may also be seen in the adjacent bone marrow. In T2 image, you will have a heterogeneous high signal with areas of low signal due to hemosiderin of the fibrosis. If an ABC exists, then fluid levels can be seen because there will be compartments into it. High signal in adjacent bone marrow thought to represent a reactionary inflammatory edema. Solid components will enhance, which will differentiate from an ABC in the T2 images.
I think the MRI will show you predominantly a solid mass, but again with variable images, variable signals. And of course, if there's a hemorrhage, degeneration, there will be more of a fluid rather than a solid material, but most of the tumor is solid. It does have a variable images present in it. It is not a uniform image, variable images.
And whenever you have doubts, get a contrast enhancement, which will mainly enhance the solid component and will give a signal void for ABC.
Absolutely.
If you see tumor in the epiphysis, skeletally mature individual abutting just against the subchondral bone, it is going to be GCT.
If you look at these images, okay, they are abutting the subchondral bone.
And we can see the beautiful soap bubble appearance here.
The soap bubble appearance is seen in the lower end of the radius. But don't consider it as diagnostic. But this is one of the findings we should be able to express.
Suggestive.
Now look at the upper end of tibia. Again, one can think of a soap bubble appearance, but I think the biggest radiological thing to be seen is 1, mature bone, 2, end of the tumor is at the end of the bone and it is abutting the subchondral bone. I think these are very important features. And this picture, of course, is showing you the commonest sites at which giant cell tumor can be seen in a wider population.
1, 2, 3 in the order of predilection. Lower end femur, then upper end tibia, then lower end of radius.